I'm listening to a podcast. There are these episodic audio recordings.
I'm familiar with the concept of a podcast. Everyone is.
We have a lot of interesting things to say, so, you know.
Oh, shit. Well, I feel like the conversation we've been having in the last 5 minutes is a lot more interesting than the shit they're talking about on the radio. Are you kidding me? Just moronic commentary and stupid sound effects, and it's just dumb. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, we have voices. We talk about the issues, you know? I feel like we could do a podcast, and it would be a million times better than whatever that drivel was we were listening to.
Without a doubt.
It's the greatest podcast ever.
Well, certainly highly produced.
Yeah,
Highly produced.
yeah, millions of dollars.
Whether it's
on
the
this
greatest ever or not,
studio.
it's certainly highly produced. It is the Jeff Dubay Show with Jason Linse. We are live from Serenity Village, house number 9, where we have actually done 2 shows from previously. We just found a better room for it. In case you're wondering, our endorsement deal with the folks at Uptown Fitness has expired. So, hey, any takers, we got the video capabilities. We could showcase your business at a very reasonable rate, reaching over 1,000 viewers / listeners each and every week.
4 figures.
Yeah, well, not our fee. No, let's just be straight. It's not, we're not
our fee is reasonable.
Yeah, very reasonable. Very reasonable. But today is Monday, January 27th.
Out to you on Facebook, right?
Yeah. Yep, that's a great way to do it. And you as well.
Well, you're going to end up forwarding it to me anyway, but that's cool.
Yeah, that's kind of how it works. That is kind of how it works. A lot of basketball to talk about today. We're also going to preview the Super Bowl. This is our last show.
We're not going to talk about the Pro Bowl?
No, we're not. Dude, it really
At least Kirk Cousins' performance?
I didn't even watch it. Did you watch it?
Yeah, he played terrible.
Did he? That's perfect.
With the best offensive line in football, he got sacked 3 times and fumbled once, costing the NFC the game.
Perfect.
He did throw it for 100-some yards and a couple of nice passes. But, yes, he looked like the Kirk Cousins we all know and love.
Perfect. It threw me for a loop this morning when I always go through my Star Tribune app in the cab in the morning on my way to do my daily routine. And I'm reading about, all the tributes to Kobe, who unfortunately tragically passed away yesterday in a helicopter crash. And it said, it was about the guys at the Pro Bowl doing like a last minute or an impromptu tribute, an homage to Kobe. And it said, Pro Bowlers, give tribute to Kobe. And I thought it was Pro Bowlers. I'm like, who cares? I read it like, who cares what professional bowlers?
The bowlers are bowling. They're doing a fadeaway. They're doing a fadeaway.
Yeah. I'm thinking the professional bowlers are doing an homage to
some
to
might
Kobe.
have.
It's nice, but it just didn't seem pertinent. But the Pro Bowl was yesterday. I'm happy to say I ignored it, as I do each and every year. I ignore all the All-Star game. The NHL All-Star game was this past weekend. Yeah. Obviously, the NBA All-Star game is going to have probably a number of special tributes.
You watch baseball All-Star.
I love that's the one.
That's the only one.
I don't
even watch that.
So we are going to talk about Kobe Bryant. I mean, that anybody who knows me knows I'm not a huge NBA fan. Neither is Jason.
Me, yeah.
So this doesn't hit quite as close to home for us.
Never saw him play.
It's clearly really.
Never saw him play.
I have.
Never cared to.
I mean, it's obviously tragic on many levels. I mean, Kobe just hit 41, hitting the prime of his life. Many years ahead of him, you'd think. 13-year-old daughter.
Retired was one of the best ever to play the game.
One of the most iconic athletes ever. And I was trying to come up with a parallel for something like this, and I couldn't come up with one. I mean, Junior Seau was the closest I could think this morning. I mean, he was a suicide because he suffered from CET, or is it CTE? Whatever.
CTE.
CTE. The brain.
But Bryant had everything, had accomplished everything, and now he's got a daughter he's coaching. I'm not saying she's going to be WNBA, but think about how much fun he was having.
Oh, I know. And it's not just the two of them. I mean, it's their entire family. Yeah, I mean, there were 3 or 4 different families that had family members on that helicopter.
Sure.
And so, I mean, it's just tragic on so many levels. And I know that when something like this happens, the proper thing to do is just to mourn and pay respect. However, I'm going to say this. Just because I know that this will be a topic later in the week, and we don't do a show later in the week.
Yeah.
Whose decision was it to take a helicopter up in this dense fog? I don't get it.
Kobe Bryant's?
I don't get it because
he did it all the time, though.
Well, they were going to Sherman Oaks. I mean, they were going someplace they could drive.
You ever driven L.A.?
I understand that. But when there's fog so thick that other entities are grounding their helicopters.
Is that the case? I didn't know that.
The Los Angeles County Police and the city police both had grounded their helicopters.
Well, so interpretation, they get a guy that claims he can fly an instrument rating helicopter.
I guess, but I mean, I'm thinking.
Believe me,
there seems to be. I mean, and I understand. I mean, Kobe Bryant has had a fantastic career where he's made a lot of money that affords him luxuries, and I don't begrudge anybody that. And I know that it's hard to drive around L.A. It's just. I mean,
Okay,
if it's foggy, it's to the point where it's dangerous.
And then it wasn't an early morning game. They could have had hired a driver left at 10 a.m. You're right, 100% right.
In a limo, like a stretch limo, an Escalade limo.
But again, he owns a helicopter, or else owns he rents one. I don't know. He's got access.
Or something.
Yeah, so he can snap his fingers, pay $5,000, and
it's absolutely without batting an eye. I mean, he could send his kids to theoretically could have sent his kids to school every day in a helicopter. I mean, I get it, and I don't begrudge anybody their money or their privilege.
Yeah.
I mean, he earned it. He absolutely earned every cent of it. But I do believe that at some point this week, and I know this is too soon, and I apologize. It's right in the wake of the accident, and I can't stress enough how tragic it is, how horrible it is on so many levels for so many different people
24 hours
and different families. But I promise you, at some point during the week, it's going to be brought up, just the hubris of, we're going to avoid traffic and fly a helicopter through the hills, the California hills, in foggy, dense foggy weather, when the police and sheriff's department have grounded all their helicopters, which are probably in the air all the time in LA.
You hope nothing comes to light where the pilot is on record as saying, "Are you sure this is a good idea?" You know what I mean? Like that would suck.
I guess, and I don't want somebody to get blamed for this per se, but it's it just seems like such a horrible decision in hindsight. And I
didn't know they got fog in LA.
Oh, it was dense fog. And did you see? Maybe it was just a whole West Coast thing, because I mean, if you watched any of the golf tournament from Torrey Pines, I know that's San Diego, but they were. Is that
where they were playing? Was San Diego?
I mean, it was dense fog there, but of course that's that marine layer they call it.
Yeah.
Everywhere else in the world it's fog. In San Diego, it's a marine layer that comes in off the ocean at Torrey Pines. And I don't know anything about California weather. I'm not going to try to be Denny Green, as you can say, it comes up the coast, down the coast, Calcutta Clipper, blah blah blah. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe Southern Cal was just, and of course you got the smog factor in LA all the time too. But I don't know. On the surface, I just keep saying to myself, God, it's thick fog. I get it. If it's a beautiful day, let's jump in the helicopter. On a foggy day, when you're only going to Sherman Oaks, it's like, oh, is this I don't know. Yeah. I feel like somebody somewhere along the line made a really horrible decision, and the results so tragic, just horrible, horrific.
Well, I mean, ultimately, I'm not trying to play blame, but it ultimately goes to the pilot. That's pilot error, right? I mean, that's got to be what it is.
It's got to be, because the guy, the accounts that I read, from
his craft, he's in charge.
When there was somebody being interviewed who was like a helicopter expert, he flew in the Marines, and now he's a lawyer for different aviation companies, and he's talking about the specific type of helicopter. It's a twin engine. He said it would be beyond the scope of catastrophic for both of the engines in this twin engine thing to fail. The chances of it being mechanical failure is
almost zero.
Yeah.
Well, you know who we'll be talking about in the days and weeks to come is Bill Burr, no doubt, as a helicopter pilot himself.
He is. Yeah. I didn't know that until yesterday.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't?
No, I was watching Bill Burr stuff on YouTube, ironically, and I came across some helicopter stuff.
Have you heard him talk on I think it's on Conan about why he did it?
Yeah, because he said the only way out of LA is up and out.
and then Conan goes, "Do you own a helicopter?" And he goes, "No, I'm not saying there's not flaws in my. I got holes in the plan." Yeah, I've been just going on YouTube and just searching anything Bill Burr related lately. I've seen all the specials, so I always love seeing whatever new material I can find from Bill Burr. But I mean, I try to find a parallel where such an iconic figure, such an iconic athlete, was struck down so close to the end of his playing career. Like I said, Junior Seau's the one thing that I could come close. That's self-inflicted.
That was self-inflicted, and with all due respect to who was a great man and a great player.
It was a mental health issue.
He also, it was a mental health issue, and he also was not as iconic as Kobe, but very few are. I mean, if you're going to talk about the most iconic athletes of our life,
you almost have to be NBA just because of the numbers, right? I mean,
I think
the quarterback.
The three most iconic NBA players, in my opinion, in my lifetime, in no particular order, are Jordan, Magic, and Kobe.
Yeah.
Boom.
Sure.
And if you want to expand it to 5, then you start getting into Kareem and LeBron.
Kobe retired like 3-4 years ago, right?
A couple years ago.
So my 12-year-old nephew watched him play basketball. I mean, he's 7, 8, 9. He's my sister would take them to the games when the Lakers played.
Right.
And a couple times Kobe wouldn't be playing, and it would be kind of depressing for them. But anyway, he texts me and he goes, he goes, "Does anybody famous die when you were a kid, like that you really like?" And I racked my brain and I could not think of anybody. And we're similar in age, But, I was born in 73.
There's musicians, I mean, I wasn't.
Yeah, but even then, I don't remember.
I mean, I wasn't a huge Stevie Ray Vaughan guy.
But I was 7. I was
Lukewarm.
I was 18 by then. I'm thinking like when I was
Grateful Dead.
I was trying to look for like
Drake,
19. I was born in 73, so like 83 to like 88 when I was like 10 to 15. But anyway,
that's tough.
Yeah. So the reason I bring it up is I think it's pretty sad for some of these kids that
Oh yeah.
grew up watching Kobe.
Absolutely. It's again, it's the double-edged sword of being so iconic. I mean, you're idolized. And I'm not saying Kobe did anything wrong here. I'm saying his death is going to traumatize a lot of people who really loved him and really looked up to him and really just loved him and respected him. As a matter of fact, I saw some highlights from NBA arenas yesterday where fans were weeping. I mean, like adult male fans in Kobe jerseys, just tears streaming down their cheeks. I mean, my heart went out.
Neither of us really are big NBA fans.
No.
Did he have any plans to coach? You think was that going to be something?
Not that I'm aware of, but I mean, he doesn't. I don't know. I'm not plugged in, but I don't know. I would think that with that kind of money, there's a million things you could do to enjoy life and give something back. And I'm sure he had all kinds of plans to help grow the game or do some youth foundations.
Yeah,
and I mean,
sure.
He probably was already taking part in things like that. And I probably should have looked up.
He coached a team named after him, right? Was the Mambas? Is that what?
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
That is really cool. And it is, by the way, if it's not the coolest nickname in sports, it's up there. I mean, Black
I don't
Mamba.
even know, what does it come from? What does it mean?
Well, it's a snake, isn't it? A black mamba.
Okay.
I think it's a snake. Gee, it's a snake. I mean, and I would have to say then that the coolest nicknames do seem to come from the NBA because Jason Williams, White Chocolate, might have been the funniest ever. I mean, not the funniest, but the coolest ever. I mean, a white guy who played the game of a black guy, so they called him White Chocolate. It's just, I mean, when I say the game of a black guy, he had the skills that you don't typically see from, he wasn't some chest passing guy from BYU. He wasn't off Hickory. He wasn't out of Hoosiers.
Yeah.
He was he was a flashy. He was like he walked in off an And One tape. White Chocolate was a great
better
nickname.
moves than Isaiah Thomas.
Very fitting nickname. But obviously, I can't say it enough. Tragic loss, extremely sad on many levels. It's not just Kobe. It's 2 or 3 other families that were affected, including the 13-year-old daughter of Kobe, Gianna. And it just watching SportsCenter last night. I mean, ESPN threw together like a primetime special in rapid fashion. Some of the on-court tributes, pretty impressive. I mean, teams taking intentional. There were 2 games I saw where teams took intentional 24-second violations. And then like one team, like they won the jump ball, they took a violation. Other team inbound it, took a violation. And then they just did a moment of reverence. Just a moment of reverence. So they all just stood there and let the clock run out. Then the other team did the same. It would have been something else if they would have agreed to do it before the game, and then the second team to go say, "No, we're not doing it." And just got a free possession out of it. Would have been pretty low.
Slam dunk.
Would have been, it's probably too soon to make comments like that, but it would, like in a movie setting, like had it been like a Will Ferrell movie, kind of funny. In real life, it would have been horrific. Would have been horrific. But anyway, to basketball being played on the hard court, kind of a bipolar week for the Minnesota Gophers. They played their way off of the bubble, or kind of at least to the right side of the bubble with the big win at Ohio State.
Yes.
And I'm not saying they played themselves out.
But the way they lost, they did. You can't lose by 20 something.
Yeah, it was a surprising loss in that.
On Willie Burton Day.
Well, the Gophers are a team. That what you love about them, or what I love about them, is what I hate about them. And it's Oturu is a constant. He's pretty much a constant game in, game out. And this team is going to win or lose depending on how they shoot the ball from the outside. I love the fact that they've got guard play. I love the fact they got 3 or 4 guys who can and will and do successfly shoot the 3-point shot, whether it's Carr, Willis, even Demir, Kelcher, Trey Williams. They've got a number of them who can shoot the ball. And when those guys are going good, you got a perfect complement to Oturu. Yeah. And the Gophers are pretty hard to beat. But when they go cold from the perimeter, I mean, they had a stretch in the first half was just abysmal.
15%, I think
horrible.
they were shooting from the 3.
And Kelcher is so streaky. I mean, he kind of almost epitomizes.
They should call him Fawcett, hot and cold. I mean, it's one or the other.
It's crazy. I mean, and for somebody who's so sound in his shooting fundamentals, I mean, you'd think that he would be able to avoid long streaks like that, but
that's in his head.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I think most sports streaks, hot, cold, are psychologically based.
a big believer in sports psychology. I don't know if could you use Gobi to diagnose Gabe Kalsher?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Sure.
then
I mean, he'd have to take the assessment. I'm sure I could come up with some things that he could work on.
All right, but the Gophers, when they went into Ohio State, they were one of the last 4 out. That means, when they're selecting the field for the NCAA tournament, the Gophers are one of the first 4 out, whatever that's called. Yeah. Yeah. That means that they just barely missed the field.
That means NIT.
Yeah. But they were within a few teams of being moved into the field.
With a lot of games left.
When they beat Ohio State, they moved back into that round. They jumped into the last 4
They're going to be out now.
After the loss to Michigan State, who knows? But I mean, they're going to be I think they're going to be on or around the bubble for the rest of the year. I mean, what you're seeing is what you're going to get. They're going to win a game here, lose a game there. It's they typically win at home, typically lose on the road. I know they reversed that trend.
Don't you think they need at least one good win?
Well, I thought they've got. I mean, you mean from this point on? They do have a number of good ones.
No, this point on.
I mean, the Michigan win, 2 Ohio State wins. They've got a number of them. But yeah, they've and I haven't looked at the schedule. But yeah,
I'm gonna look it up.
I know they got Purdue, Wisconsin, and Iowa at home this month. So I mean, those are 3 good opportunities. You got to protect the home.
Well, they're off till Thursday. Then they go to Illinois, who's a really good team.
Yep, they are.
Wisconsin at home.
Yep. Wisconsin, Purdue, Iowa are all coming to the barn this month, and those are 3 big opportunities.
And Indiana.
And Indiana's another one of those bubble teams. So yeah, you've got some opportunities.
Actually, Purdue's not coming. It's Indiana.
It's Indiana.
Yeah, Wisconsin, Iowa, Indiana.
But yeah, and Iowa. Yeah, and Iowa's a ranked team. So that's a nice opportunity. So I still really like this Gopher team. I still think that they've got a really strong complement inside-outside game. I really do like the guard play. They can shoot the ball from the outside. Typically, when they don't, they're in trouble. When they do, they're tough to beat. I mean, Oturu is a star.
Big Ten's going to have 9-10 teams in, possibly.
Well, they're saying 11, actually.
Really?
Yeah, right now they're projected to have 11 by Lunardi and all those experts. So, yeah, that's where they're at with that. So it's a week that was good and bad. But the win at Ohio State, I'm starting to wonder how good Ohio State is. I mean, they're not even ranked anymore.
No.
So they've definitely crashed down.
Michigan, same with Michigan.
And if I'm not mistaken, didn't Ohio State? They may have started the season unranked. They may have been a team that had like very mediocre expectations.
Oh, no.
And then they had this crazy fast start to the season that included a trouncing of North Carolina that at the time really impressed people. But as we get deeper into the season, we find out that this North Carolina team, is just a shadow of its former self. I mean, you got
Michigan 4 losses in a row. Once we beat them, I mean they're not. I mean that was a signature win at the time, but they're 11-8.
Yeah. So it's Ohio State's definitely on the downside. Roy Williams, if I could ever get the coach's name right. I mean, he came out and said that this is the worst or least talented North Carolina team he's coached since he's been there. So yeah, Ohio State may have gotten a little overblown, with their fast start.
Yeah.
And their big win over North Carolina. That was their signature win early in the season. So that's when the Gophers went through that stretch in the non-conference, a lot of losses, a lot of tough losses against good teams. I kind of wrote them off. Didn't think they had a chance to make the NCAA tournament. But with the Big Ten getting the respect it's getting, talking about 11 teams, I think it's going to be an interesting stretch. Like I said, they're right in the bubble. They're going to be off it. They're going to be on it. They're going to be in. They're going to be out, back and forth all week.
We're talking about them, which if we did this 2 years ago, we wouldn't have been talking.
And I'm glad we
are.
I'm glad that's what I'm trying to get at. I'm glad that there's going to be some games that matter down the stretch.
Yeah.
So I have no doubt about that. That's going to be good. A couple other things to touch on before we run out of here. Josh Donaldson. Now this happened over a week ago, but we didn't talk about it.
Yes, I was going to ask you.
And you're a Twins season ticket holder.
Yes.
Right? Are you excited?
Well, sure. But I also am not much of a baseball expert like you would be. So that's why I was excited to ask you. You tell me, 34 years old.
I was a little concerned about the length of the contract.
30 with the length and the money, right? So tell me your thoughts on this signing.
I love it. I still love it. I mean, the guy.
You like it for next year and the year after, and then maybe the year after, and that's about it.
I mean, I'm not going to sit here and try to predict when Donaldson's production will start to taper because I have no idea. But
it's not going to taper now.
I mean, our lineup right now is so freaking good. Oh my God! And not to mention, I don't know that they have any desire or intention to do anything like this, but your lineup would still be awesome if you traded Rosario for a frontline starting pitcher. I mean, it opens up some possibilities if you need them. People, I think, are overreacting to the state of the Twins starting pitching. You look what they had last year. They won 101 games. All right. And their starting pitching is, I would say, better this year than it was a year ago. I mean, you still got 2 All-Stars at the top, which not many teams can say. And after that, Homer Bailey is a solid number 3. I would expect him to have a much better season this year than Gibson had a year ago. Now Gibson was battling, some
digestive issues that really messed up his season. I wouldn't be surprised if Gibson is better than Homer Bailey this year. But if you're comparing last year's team that won 101 to this year's team and what they're capable of, Homer Bailey's going to give you more than Gibson gave you. Rich Hill, once he comes back, which is going to be All-Star break, Rich Hill is really good. I mean, he's old. He's a junk throwing lefty, but he's the kind of guy who.
What's wrong with him?
He had elbow surgery, but he comes back around the All-Star break, and don't be surprised if in the second half of the season he wins like 8-9 games and has an ERA under 3. I mean, he's going to be like one of these guys. Okay. It's going to be like getting making a good trade at the deadline, but not having to give anything up. It's in the
so you're optimistic about the pitching.
Well, let me put it this way: I'm not a doomsday guy with the pitching. I think Pineda is going to have a big year. He'll be back in May, like late May. So I mean, it's really the making of a pretty good rotation, and you can kind of, for the short term, the hope is that you can piece together the bottom or the backside with Dobnik, Smeltzer, whatever.
They're going to score runs. They're going to hit homers still.
Absolutely, and they're going to be so much better defensively. Donaldson is a huge upgrade.
Well, I've heard good things.
Yeah, huge upgrade at third base over Sano. Sano probably not as good as.
Will Sano go to first?
Yeah, Sano will be the first.
How do you feel about that?
I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. I mean, he wasn't setting the world on fire at third base, despite the fact that he is athletic and he's got a great arm. But so you think that he could have done better than he did at third base. For a big man, he moves extremely well. But Donaldson is an elite level defensive third baseman, so that's gonna be fine. It's about fine. It's gonna be a significant upgrade. So they've got that going.
Hey, pitchers and catchers report pretty soon, right?
I'm excited. Well, seriously, it is. It's February. Yeah. I mean, it's January as we do this, but in February they do report. They had Twins Fest this week, and So I mean, I know that people wanted to see the Twins. Sign one of these. Well, they wanted to see the Twins sign one of these frontline starting pitchers.
Sure.
And if they couldn't, then get one of your second tier guys like a Madison Bumgarner. Yeah. And they were unable to do any of those things. But after all that had happened, credit to them, they went out and got the biggest, best, most coveted bat that they could get. And that was no small deal.
Does Phil also know the Packers lost?
Yeah, Phil loves his team.
Does he know they're not playing in the Super Bowl?
Phil, I respect you, bro. You love your team.
Phil, I'm not sure I do respect you. They're done.
He's 71 years old. Come on, bro.
What does that have to do with it? That's young.
Well,
that's old enough to know better.
Well, that's whatever.
I'm giving you shit, Phil, kind of.
Kind of. Yeah. But anyway, we'll get to Super Bowl here in just a second. But after missing out on the pitching, maybe Zach Wheeler, they made the big bid for, couldn't get him. Then they couldn't get the second tier guys they wanted. They went out and got the biggest, most coveted bat on the market, and then they got a couple of guys in Homer Bailey and Rich Hill that I think are going to do a really nice job for them. So to football. Here we go. Niners, Chiefs, Super Bowl this Sunday.
Oh God, it's this Sunday.
It's this Sunday.
Jiminy Christmas.
Yeah, I know, and that's somebody texted me or Facebooked me last week that he thought this was going to be a really lackluster matchup that nobody's going to want to watch. I disagree for two reasons. Number one, it's the Super Bowl. It's just the Super Bowl. You could put anybody in it, and people are going to love it and eat it up.
I'd watch it if it was the Packers and the Cowboys.
Yeah,
which can't happen. But
I feel it. I mean, it's to me, but to me, it's not a lackluster matchup. It is the single best, most dynamic offensive player in the National Football League. Sorry, Lamar Jackson. Patrick Mahomes is the man against what is right now, I think, the most dominant, dynamic defense in the National Football League. That is a fantastic matchup
with the best running game.
Yeah. Oh God, how good was Mostert? But again, Green Bay, a pretty bad run defense. Yeah. I mean, there's somewhere in the mid-20s throughout the league. But don't get me wrong. I mean, what Mostert did was eye-popping.
They'll run the ball. They'll run the ball against the Chiefs.
Absolutely. And they're going to have to. I like Garoppolo, but he's to me, it's Patrick Mahomes' time. I can't see anybody beating the Chiefs right now. I'm definitely jumping on the Chiefs. I'm not betting. I'm not a gambling man. But whatever. Last I saw, was it 1.5 or something? I would lay that very comfortably.
What is it? What point and a half?
That's what it was when it opened. I haven't followed it all because, again, I don't gamble. But I think the Chiefs win this game by at least 7, if not 10.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, I just watching them in the playoffs.
Do you want them to win?
They were able to spot teams. I don't care.
So now that's my question.
But they were able to spot teams.
Is that going to happen again? Are they going to start out slow?
No, I would
14
not.
donut.
I would not tempt fate and think, okay, let's fall behind this really good defense and let them tee off on our quarterback.
Right.
And obviously, Mahomes, if everything changes if. God forbid, somebody comes on and blindsides him and he hurts his knee or something. And he heads to the sideline. Then all bets are off.
Yeah, it's over.
No, not according to Vegas. Vegas, you still got to pay up, bro. Bets are never off.
Yeah, no.
But supposing that Mahomes starts and finishes this game, we've seen how easy it is for them. Tyreek Hill, so dynamic, so fast. Travis Kelce, annoying as hell, but an elite tight end.
Yeah, they've got a little bit of everything, and I just think the offense is too good. I know that traditionally, the great defenses, they typically beat the great offenses in Super Bowls, but I don't think so this time. I think Mahomes is just an indomitable force that is he can't be.
Who do you think Joe Montana's rooting for?
Yeah, I know. I was thinking about that too. It's the Joe Montana Bowl. No, I'm sure he's loyal to the Niners. How can he not be?
Yeah.
I mean,
only 2 years.
There's a cup of coffee. Look, there's a cup of coffee with the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I mean, for the most part.
A bag of chips. Yeah.
We look forward to next Monday, a week from today, we'll be back doing the Jeff Dubay Show, probably from the basement here.
Wait a second here. On Monday, man, I better not have too many beers
on Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah.
Well, then I'll be fine. You know me, I'm a teetotaling, but
you'll be drinking milk and reading the Bible.
We're at Serenity Village, house number 9. We don't go for that stuff here. So anyway, I guess that's just about our time. We're just about 2.5 hours. And again, if anybody's interested in a unique and very affordable marketing opportunity.
And by the way,
this camera, we can move the camera. If we're at your business, we can show people what's going on.
But especially think about this: if you're a bar, restaurant, bowling alley type thing, we come on site. We can come on site anywhere, but those are the ones that are pretty fun to do.
Yeah.
And we can even add a second show a week. That we're prepared to do that with the right sponsorship.
Oh, absolutely.
And Uptown Fitness loved it. It was a good run for them. So we'd love to have somebody new.
Yeah, and over the years, doing podcasts, we've been at places like Burger Mo's in St. Paul. I've been at Devil's Advocate in its old location downtown. Now they got the new location. So there's a track record established here. This is a very specific type of marketing that
Rick's
works.
Cabaret.
Well, I don't know that we want to put those images on Facebook. I believe at some point.
Would that be funny in the background?
Community standards.
Yeah, just dancers running around.
Yeah. I could have a wet T-shirt contest.
I'd be like this. I'll tell you what. If you're doing the show by yourself.
Yeah, all by myself. But that's I'd be distracted, heavily distracted. I would just want them standing on that side of the camera so we don't get shut down. We don't want to get shut down.
No.
But anyway, unique opportunities. Just contact me on Facebook. So that's going to do it. Would you like to plug Goby?
Yeah, that. So I own a company called Goby, and so if you check out findinggoby.com, it's a company for it's good for personal use, but a lot of the applications that I use it for are in companies. So if you're part of a company, human resources, or you own a company and you're having problems communicating in the company, for example, departments don't communicate well with other departments, Goby comes in and makes clears that up, helps with that. So findinggoby.com.
All right, that's going to be it. We'll see you next Monday to talk some Super Bowl. The Jeff Dubay Show with Jason Linse. Done.
Go Chiefs. I'm rooting for the Chiefs, Jeff.
I don't care.
It's okay.